Welcome in, everyone, to another edition of the Sick Podcast, Recruits Draftcast. All right, junior hockey is in full swing. NCAA hockey starts today. We got NHL hockey today over in Prague. Jonathan Kovacevic is the leading NHL scorer, by the way, as we speak. That probably changed by the time the show's over, but lots happening right now. We're going to revisit the 2024 draft class. We're going to take a look at what they're doing right now, if they're still with their NHL team, if they got cut. Most of them are injured. We're going to touch on the top 12 or so. And then we're going to give you our prospects of the week. This week, we're going to have an OHL prospect of the week, since we didn't last week, and an underage prospect of the week, since he deserves some love. So we're going to give it to him anyways. So let's get started.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Recruits Draftcast.
With our first pick in the 2022 NHL Draft, les Canadiens de Montréal sont fiers de repêcher from the Slovakian national team and TPS Turku, Yuri Slavkovsky.
The sickest NHL draft and scouting podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Producer Shane here, joined as always by the magnificent Grant McCagg. Grant, how are you today?
Excellent. Hockey's in full swing. I'm going to go to the last exhibition game in Ottawa tomorrow night and check that out. I don't know if it's going to be it'll be interesting to see. Did Montreal call up a bunch of AHLers like Ottawa did, and or are they going to dress some actual NHL guys?
I don't know. There's no news right now, but it's not looking promising. We'll just say that.
Well, should be able to win that one. Like, by the looks of things, with who Ottawa called up there, I suspect that they're going to dress most of their regulars, because usually you dress what will be your opening night lineup in the last game. But with all the injuries, I guess, in camp and what happened the last game and stuff, Ottawa and a few other teams are erring on the side of caution. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. This particular preseason, I don't know. I feel like every preseason there's always something happening, but this one in particular has just been a gong show. It's been stupid. I mean, the amount of fights and injuries, and we're gonna get to that in a bit now, but I've never seen anything like it so far. Like, this has been unprecedented.
Well, I think I called it a shit show. Like, it is what it is, right? It's one past the gong show, really.
Yeah, I would agree. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. I think that the regular season can't start soon enough. It started today, but there's still preseason games happening. It's this weird, overlap on the schedule. Whatever. It's the international thing in Prague. It's cool. New Jersey and Buffalo playing 2 games over there. Okay, let's get into our main topic here today. We wanted to take a look at the 2024 draft class, how they've done so far in training camp and preseason, who's still with the team, who should make the NHL in their first year, who's been sent back, who's injured, and we'll start with the number 1 overall pick, Macklin Celebrini. He's part of the injured list. Had a nasty fall there against Utah, I believe, in his second game. But his first game, he was piping hot. I think he got 2 points, correct? I think he's probably a lock to make the team anyways. But it's looking like a day-to-day type of injury, nothing too serious, thankfully.
Yeah, well, you pretty much said what I had prepared to say about him. So let's just roll a clip. His two points here. Look at that shot, eh? Mm-hmm. We saw that all last year in BU. And then the pass again. He's just what he did all last year and what we saw in Chicago. And he's just special young man. And he crashed into the boards in the game against Utah and missed the rest of the game. But word has it that he's day to day. It's nothing serious, so he'll be back. But I mean, 2 points in his first ever NHL exhibition game kind of tells, I think it's important of things to come that he'll be putting up points this year. He'll be with the team day one, and at the end of the season, he's up for the year. So, they'll be cautious, but I suspect that he won't be missing any time, and he'll be in there opening night and regular on the Sharks all season.
Regular, I mean, he's probably first line center.
Could be.
They have very little depth in San Jose. It's like another tank year, but thankfully, Celebrini's here, baby.
Yeah, Eklund, Toffoli, and him. That looks like that's going to be the first line. Will Smith hasn't. He's been getting lots of ice time, but not putting up any points yet. I think he might be best served to start the year in the minors, and no rush with him, but we'll see. I mean, top 5 pick from the year before. They may give him an audition to start too. I expect William Eklund to have a breakout year this year.
He's good.
He's he's a really good young player, and he's got a center now, and then Toffoli as well, because Eklund's a good playmaker, and I think Celebrini and Toffoli between them probably get 50 plus goals. So I think Eklund would be a good pick for all you fantasy draft guys that want a dark horse, because I suspect that he won't be a high pick in any pools or drafts, and that's a good name, I think, to expect to have a bit of a breakthrough year this year.
I like that. I have Toffoli in one of my leagues, so I am kind of banking on that first line. I'm hoping they do pretty well. And listen, when you got Macklin, Celebrini down the middle, I think you're on the right path, right? Now I want to say this: if you want to bet on Macklin Celebrini to win the Calder Trophy, and he very well could, well, you can do that on Betway. Okay, Betway is a leading global online betting and gaming brand. Follow your gut instinct. Go with Betway. Go on Betway.com or scan the QR code down there and join the action. Must be 18 plus and play responsibly. If we want to move on to the second overall pick, not a whole lot to say about him. Unfortunately, Artem Levshunov has been injured, has not really been a part of the preseason. I honestly don't know what the plan is with him. Do they want to keep him in Chicago? Does he play in Rockford? Do you have a better idea?
No.
We don't know.
No. I don't know, blocked a shot on September 11th and has been, he's back skating as of September 27th, I read. So I can't see, considering that he got basically no training camp and no exhibition games, that you have to think that he's going to be going to Rockport to start the year. But maybe they keep him around, let him practice with the team for a while, not necessarily put him into a game. They might give him a game or two, since he was a second overall pick, and he's physically, he can probably handle it, and lots of hype and stuff. But I suspect that he's bound for the AHL. Now I'm not sure when, but that would be my guess at this point. That, although interestingly, they sent down Korchinski, I think. Yeah, I read. They did. So, I don't know who their 7 defensemen are, but I suspect that if they don't think Korchinski's ready, and he had, this is his second camp, and he had the full camp, then they're not going to rush. I don't think they're going to rush Levshunov either.
No, I think it's safe to expect him playing in the AHL, but like I said, we have no idea what's going on with him right now. Unfortunately, he's been injured all of training camp, so that's as far as we can go with Artem, unfortunately. But moving on to the third pick, Becca Seneca, who made his preseason debut this week. He was also injured, and we're not done with the injuries, by the way. He was also injured, but luckily he's back now. He looks good. Likely to be sent back down to the OHL, but I think it's a good thing that Anaheim keeps him as long as they can. But they're looking to be pretty loaded this year. I don't think that it'd be overly wise to keep him in the NHL for the entire season. What do you think?
Well, quite a training camp for injuries, like I mean, we talk about Line and Reinbacher for Montreal, but I mean, this has to be the first time that the top 6 picks missed either some or most of exhibition, or all in Demidov's case, because he's not even here. But the top 4 picks have played a grand total of 2.5 games so far, which is just crazy. It's too bad, because that's one of the things I look forward to is, how do the top 5 picks look in training camp? And we've been, we haven't been able to see that this year, and it's unfortunate. He had a foot fracture off-season training, so I was surprised to actually see him back, because they said 6 to 8 weeks, and the injury was about a month ago. So quick turnaround. Oh, these young lads, they heal a lot quicker than I do. So, but it was nice to see him back, and we have a clip. He showed up for the shootout, and here, that we saw that all last year, right?
Yeah, we're used to this, but Anaheim fans, get used to that. You're going to see a whole lot of it.
Well, what's cool is he's Oshawa made obviously they're expecting him back, because they just traded their first round picks for the rest of this or their second round picks for the rest of this century to pick up Colby Barlow. And the thought is obviously to have a first line, a super line of Barlow, Seneca, centered by Calum Ritchie. I mean, that might be the best junior line in hockey this year. And it'll then you consider they got Danford back there, Morelli, as there's your 5-man unit that's probably going to play 25 to 30 minutes a game, and pile up a lot of points this year. So I think that trade, and I mean Seneca's still got to get a little bigger and keep working on his game, get a little stronger. But next year, I suspect he'll be in the NHL. You can see just even on that one highlight there, just the hands on him, right? So he's going to be exciting to watch. I'll keep a close eye on him again this year in junior. It'd be fun going out to the 67s games when Oshawa's there. I'll make a point of it.
Oh, that's gonna be a blast for sure. Now, the 4th overall pick, Caden Lindstrom, again, unfortunately injured. The back, what is it? A hernia, right? Herniated disc. It's terrible. He obviously didn't participate in training camp or the preseason. Likely going to go back to Medicine Hat, which, if you're Medicine Hat, you're thrilled, because they're looking to be a wagon this year. But not a whole lot to say about him as well, unfortunately.
I mean, when I talk about great junior lines, certainly they traded for Ryder Ritchie. They made a deal in the offseason, and there could be a top line in Medicine Hat of Ritchie, Lindstrom, and McKenna, which I guess would give the Seneca trio a run for its money. There's going to be some fun top junior lines this year, and that's 2 examples right there. But and they got the Ruck twins that are playing now in Medicine Hat, and they're going to score a lot of points too. They picked up Muhonen in the import draft. He scored a nice goal the other night. They're not off to a great start, but just like last year with Lindstrom out of the lineup, they weren't nearly as good. But once he's back and he's in there, that completes that team, and they're going to be they're going to be one of the real powerhouses in the WHL this year, and maybe a Memorial Cup favorite.
You have to think. But hopefully, Lindstrom gets back into full shape plays a full season. We want to see him on the ice. We want to see him play for Team Canada.
Oh yeah.
Really rooting for Caden here. Hopefully it's nothing lingering, right? That's the main concern. And we hope that's not the case for him. Before we get to the 5th overall pick, we want to shout out, here it is, our new sponsor. Okay. We want to give some love to MKProp RE. If you're looking for a hat trick in real estate. Sorry?
You got to give him some props.
Oh,
MK
okay. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Yeah, I'm going to give them some props, right? So if you're looking for a hat trick in real estate, Team MKProp RE delivers every time with 5-star Google reviews, professional photography to make your property shine, an unmatched West Island expertise. Okay, you got Helen and Franco's award-winning service guarantees that your real estate journey is a winning play, whether you're buying or selling. Okay, so trust the team that makes every move a success. Call Helen and Franco at 514-915-1750. Thank you to MKProp RE. We'll give them some props. So, like I mentioned, number 5 overall pick has not been injured, but has not been playing either. Ivan Demidov is, we know, he's stuck in the KHL at SKA. And if you follow Grant on Twitter, which if you're not, by the way, do so. You get some good content there. But last game, unfortunately, he was relegated to the 4th line, played 4 minutes in the game, no shifts in the 3rd. Are we missing something? I mean, maybe we're just dumb. Like, I don't, I'm at a loss for words here, Grant. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of tuning out a bit from it because it's, I don't have any more gray hairs to turn gray. They're already gray. So I'm just, I'm not, I've been watching all the games. They're on usually around 12:30 in the afternoon, but I'm taking a break from it because, like I said, tweeted the other day, I was going to throw a Smirnoff bottle at the, as soon as they showed Comrade Rottenberg's smug mug there on the, because they always bring him up and he's up the bench and he thinks he's the coolest or whatever, but he's the dumbest, I think. But anyway, I just don't understand how just named the KHL Rookie of the Month, and now I think I mentioned that he's up for the benching of the month for October. Now he'll be the KHL bencher of the month, but he certainly didn't do anything to deserve it, as we showed in our last on Sunday. The highlights of his last game. I mean, that penalty was questionable to begin with, but to blame him for being down 4-1 because of a penalty that a guy tripped over a stick and he was their best player up until that point. They're just Rottenberg's just looking for any excuse, I guess, to keep the kid out of the lineup because he's going away, right? He's not going to be here in 6 months, and so why worry about developing? In fact, I think he wants to do the opposite, the way he's treating him, because top 3 scorer on the team, top 3 in shots per 60, top 3 in points per 60, the best goals against, top 3 in goals against per game. So he's not hurting them defensively. In fact, just the opposite, top 3 in plus minus, and you play him 4 minutes in a game with Zinchenko, who is playing his first game of the season. That's quite a come down from Kuznetsov. I don't know what's in store. I don't know what the thinking is, but 6 months will go by pretty quickly. We just have to be patient. I mean, we knew this was a possibility when they drafted him. It was maybe one of the reasons why he dropped to 5, because other teams knew that this was going to happen too. But you couldn't pass on him at 5. He's not going to get the greatest development over the next 6 months, but he's just he's going to be a star in the NHL, and we just have to bite our lip and put up with it for 6 months. There'll be times when he'll get ice time and he'll score and he'll look good, and then I don't know, he'll the puck will bounce over his stick and he'll be benched for another couple games after that. But that's just the way it's going to be, and we have to deal with it. So I'm going to worry less about it. I'm not going to watch SK for a while. He starts getting ice time again, I'll go back to watching the games in full. What I'll do is I'll go on Instat later and have a look at his shifts, but no more watching their games, because I was trying to get clips and stuff, and second half of the game, you're waiting every shift. Okay, this is the fourth line, should be coming up. No, they're not playing again here. Fourth line's time. No, they're not on the ice. So I just wasted time to sit there waiting to see him play 4 minutes a game.
Yeah, and like you said, luckily it's only 6 months, right? He only after that he's as free as the wind, and he'll be treated properly in Montreal.
Oh yeah,
Habs fans, just hold tight, okay? Hold tight. He'll be here. Until then, it's not great. Moving on to the 6th overall pick. Now, first ever pick for the Utah Hockey Club, Tija Ginla. Again, didn't play a ton in the preseason, but he did play. Now he got sent back down to Kelowna, which was the most likely outcome. What did you think so far of his performance?
Yeah, I think he looked good in training camp, and Andre's going to like him and likes him, which is no surprise. Good Canadian boy, good pedigree, obviously, and it's again another guy that got injured and had his lower body injury, got delayed a couple weeks of him playing, but got in there and picked up an assist. And unfortunately, the game wasn't up on Instat, so I couldn't get it. But he got sent back to Kelowna, and we have a highlight of him scoring a Tija Ginla type goal. The speed on him, and they just powered in and boom.
Man. Yep.
We're going to see a lot of that this year, and for Canada, hopefully too, in December
for sure.
January. But
sure.
he's gonna have a fantastic year in junior, I think.
I agree. He was one of my favorites in this draft class, and that'll continue. Big fan of Tej. I know people in Utah are gonna learn to love this guy. By the way, Clayton Keller, first captain of the Utah Hockey Club. Congratulations to you. Interesting choice. Maybe Lawson Krause, but I think Keller is a valid selection as well. Worth mentioning. All right. 7th pick now. Ottawa Senators. Carter Yakimchuk, one of my favorite names of this draft. So fun to say. And one of my favorite players too. Unfortunately, not so much when he scores against the Habs, but he is so much fun to watch play. I think he's Ottawa fans are going to learn to love that pick for sure. And he's still with the team. Hasn't been cut yet.
Well, why would he be? He's 4 or 5 points, depending on he's leading all.
Yeah,
I think he's leading all rookies in scoring. In training camp, and that's a defenseman. But the fans, just like with Carlson and Sanderson pick, fans. Oh, I don't know, because independent lists didn't have them as high as what they were picked. So people think, oh, well, he must have been a bad pick there. They should have taken this guy or that guy. But no, I think Ottawa fans warmed up to him in a hurry. And don't be surprised if he starts the season in Ottawa and perhaps ends it as well. Like we saw him against Montreal. He was pretty impressive. We got some clips here. These were his 2 points against the Canadians. But look at the
shot here.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we saw that you scored 31 goals in your draft year on the fence. Look at that. That's why. I know Primo's got some bit of heat from Tony in that, but geez, you can't blame him on that one. And I mean, they had like what 12 minutes in power play, so that was a nice. Can you back it up a bit there? I was too busy rambling, but yeah, look at this. That a nice move or what? And
Yeah.
then and then this, of course, this was the talk of the first week at training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Walking through all the guys in Toronto and sticking that in. I mean, he's deserved to start the year with the Senators, I think, and see how it goes. Like if he struggles, you send him back. You just basically give him a 9-game audition, right? So you don't burn his entry contract. And if he keeps, you keep getting a point or more a game from him, that and he plays decent defense like he has. His skating hasn't stood out as being, and that it's funny. Like sometimes you get a knock, you hear a knock on a prospect in a draft year, and it becomes the narrative when it's not. It was NHL scouts were split on that last year. Said, his skating will be fine. I think it's overblown. His skating's he won't be a top 10 pick because of it. Some guys liked him in the top 5 and said the skating is not going to be an issue. I think those guys, it's looking early on it like they were the ones that read it right, because when there is a split on opinions on a guy, one side's right and one side's wrong, as it turns out. And I think it's safe to say at this point, at least, that he was full marks to be a top 10 pick. And maybe you could argue that he should have been a top 5. So great for Yakimchuk. I loved watching him last year. His dangles for his size. And I mean, we featured him last year, right? You saw it.
Yeah.
You saw some of the highlights we had on him. Just a really special offensive ability. So, they've been waiting for a while to replace that Erik Karlsson as far as an offensive blue liner goes. And I think Yakimchuk's going to pile up a lot of NHL points. And him and Sanderson are quite a nice building block on defense going forward.
Yeah, that's probably, Ottawa's question mark. Beyond those two guys, right? Zub and Chabot are injured more than they play, it seems like, and then not a whole lot of depth behind that. So I think, it's fair to assume that Yakimchuk is going to start the season in Ottawa, and I would not be shocked whatsoever if he stayed the entire season, because so far he's earned his place without a doubt. So
they've got some good young defensemen coming. I like Clevin. He's going to be a solid third pairing guy, I think. Andonovsky and they've got 3 or 4 good young Jorian Donovan, Sean's son. Both of those guys took huge steps last year, and I think down the line will be NHL defensemen. Chabot, that they've battled some injuries, both him and Zub, in the past couple of years, but I tend to lean more towards the law of averages than I do anyone being injury prone. I think it's usually just bad luck that it happens. It's not anything else other than, this guy's got brittle bones or this or that. It's just the luck of the draw. You get injured because of circumstance, not because you're injury prone per se. So, I think that they'll, for the Senators' sake, hopefully those two will be healthy and they'll have a solid top 4. If Yakimchuk keeps playing like he has been, he's going to be in their top 4 this year. So,
for sure.
So whenever you can get that out of a guy in his draft year, you've struck gold. So I think safe to say that the Senators got themselves a really good top 10 pick there.
Absolutely. Now, after Yakimchuk, we had Berkeley Catton go to the Seattle Kraken. We had Zane Parekh go to the Calgary Flames, and Anton Salayev went to the New Jersey Devils. Is there any guys there that you wanted to touch on? Because I know you got something on Sam Dickinson after.
I mean, Catton got the don't rush him treatment in Seattle. I think they seem to be following that creed lately with Shane Wright. They didn't rush Shane, and they're not rushing any of their young guys now. But I think they thought, protect him from men at this point. He's still got to get bigger, stronger, and they sent him back quicker than anybody else sent back any of their top 14 guys. I think it was December 22nd. He was already playing games in the dub. But I mean, I understand that because he's got to get bigger, stronger. They knew he wasn't going to make the team this year. That wasn't the plan, no matter how good he might look in training camp. So go back to Spokane, have a big year, name captain of the team. He'll be leading Spokane. They'll be a good, strong team. Maybe cup contenders, WHL title contenders. And he'll be on Team Canada, I'm sure, and be one of the mainstays there because Hockey Canada loves him. How could they not after what he's done for them in the past? So, I get I understand the decision to not give him preseason games and to let him go back to junior and get stronger and one more year, and then next year he'll be there the whole camp and a good bet to make them next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Zane Parekh, I mean, we didn't expect him to stick around in Calgary, but he did, play a few preseason games, right? Or did he?
Yeah, he played two,
sure.
and
he did, right? Yeah, okay.
He got more than 40. He got more than 40 minutes ice time. I think he didn't get any points, but we know he's going to get points.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that probably stood out that they were impressed with is he was on the ice for 1 goal against in more than 40 minutes of play. That's good. That's really good, actually, for a young defenseman. So, that part of his game is the part that they want to see improvement from. And hey, 1 goal against in 40 minutes, more than 40 minutes of ice time against NHL caliber talent is good. So I don't think that he did anything to disappoint them in training camp. Yeah, go back to Saginaw and him and Misa. Well, that's going to be potent on the power play in Saginaw this year.
Oh boy,
they're going to be tough to beat again, even with all the graduations. Just those two guys alone are going to score probably 100 goals between them or close to it. So they'll be exciting to watch once again. And I'll be keeping a close eye on Parekh and see how his defensive game keeps evolving.
That guy is electric, man. His mobility is mind blowing. I mean, he moves so well. It's poetry on ice, right? It's just beautiful to watch. And then, I mean, Anton Salayev, we knew wasn't going to attend training camp. Well, he attended rookie camp with the Devils, wasn't at training camp or preseason. That's fine. That was expected. Again, not a whole lot to say on him. But pick 11, San Jose Sharks take Sam Dickinson. Now, again, San Jose is not exactly blessed on defense. I think their first pairing will be Ferraro and Ceci. So,
yeah.
So I mean, Dickinson was definitely a fantastic pick there. We all agree on that. Could he have cracked the roster? Because he got sent down now, but could he, you think, have cracked the roster?
No, I think he still needs work. And he played 19 plus minutes in his first exhibition game, including like 3:46 on the penalty kill. So they had a good look at him to see. Yeah. And I think it's fair to say that they thought, okay, he's still we got a couple of clips here just show that the goals against, because he didn't get any points, but it just gives you a bit of an idea of the parts of his game that he needs to work on still. Like he doesn't, he maybe pinches sometimes when he shouldn't, and his pivoting still needs work, but maybe we don't have that clip. I thought we did, but anyways, there is a clip of him that shows. Okay, here we go. Now you'll see it better on the second one here, but he like that was, you should have held back. And then here, the pivot wasn't great, and he's still got to keep working. Although he is a great forward skater, there's still some work to do on his backward skating and his pivots. But he's he's going to have a great season in junior. Again, it'd be nice to have him available for the World Juniors. Another guy, good. Maybe what's not good for San Jose is good for Canada. But at least we get one of the two big guys. Not going to see Celebrini, I don't think, at Christmas time. That's fair to say. But Dickinson will be there. He's got to keep working on his defensive game. I kept, pretty close eye on him last year, and there's still work to do. So I'm not surprised that he didn't. Typically, 18-year-old defensemen do not make the NHL. It's really rare, and he wasn't ready. So
no,
one more year, he'll get knowing Hunter the way. He'll play 25 to 30 minutes a game. Some nights will be 35 minutes, and he'll keep developing his game. They'll keep tutoring him, and next year at camp, expect him to play all preseason and to likely start next year on a blue line, as you aptly pointed out, that could use him.
Yeah, so, it's not great there, but again, Sam Dickinson will help at the blue line. And listen, San Jose's got it's probably going to have another high pick again this year. So we've discussed a few defensemen that, look pretty good in the 2025 draft class. Maybe they'll target one of them.
Schaefer'd be pretty nice on their blue line, boy.
Wow. Yeah. That will be something. Now, we won't really touch on Bouillon that much. He's back in the NCAA, didn't really participate in the preseason, but again, should have another great year. I love what Minnesota's doing. Maybe a little tangent here, but they're a sleeper in terms of, I wouldn't say a rebuild, but their future is really good. I mean, Jesper Wallstedt in net. You got Bouillon. Brock Faber last year was a standout, right? He broke out up front, Kaprizov, Rossi, Boldy. The list goes on. I really like what Minnesota's doing.
Yeah, they've got, I think, the most talent that they've ever had in the organization, and it's give them a couple of years maybe when all the young pieces are ready. But yeah, they're looking bright, down the road at 2 or 3 years for sure.
Exactly. But now the name we want to get to is pick number 12. Philadelphia Flyers select Jet Luchenko. And I remember seeing Flyers fans on Twitter, all over social media, freaking out, saying, what are we doing? This guy's not worthy of a 12th pick. He's going to make the team, Grant. He's still with the team, has not been cut yet. Elliot Friedman just said that he is a shoo-in for the opening night roster in Philadelphia. How about that?
There you go.
I think you and I aren't shocked, but It's good to see Jet having success in Philly. We know that he's a heck of a player.
Yeah. Well, another guy, you don't overreact when a player is picked. Wait and see.
Exactly.
At least have a look at them in their first training camp before you completely write off because, again, independent lists didn't have them as high as, I had him as a top 15, top 16 guy. So you pick somebody 12th that's in your top 16. Well, he's a heck of a player. Yeah,
I said 12th, it's 13. My bad.
Yeah.
Bouillon was 12, Jet was 13.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. They moved ahead to get Bouillon.
Yeah.
No, but like 13th overall and I had him as a mid-teens guy. 13, well, that's mid-teens.
About it. Mm-hmm.
So no, he was what we saw last year, and I think it's a good example of a player that just improved leaps and bounds from the previous season. And he just kept improving, getting stronger. And you love to see that from a player. And again, he came into camp that much more improved. And you can see with that, when a player is just improving, every year, that improvement at that age is going to just keep happening. And so you're picking players not for their performance in their draft year, but how you project that they will be in a few years. And that's why guys like Seneca, guys like Luchenko, who had great improvement from the start of the year to the end of the year, you expect that they're just, it's just the tip of the iceberg, that improvement's going to keep happening, that they haven't reached their ceiling. Unlike some guys, like Shane Wright's an example of a guy, and I think some NHL guys got it right, where they said, he's no better than he was when he was 15, 16. So is there going to be that much more improvement in his game? Maybe he peaked physically sooner than other guys. And that's why you don't know that he's going to be that much better in 5 years. Whereas guys like Seneca and Luchenko, for good examples, you knew that, hey, they're only going to get better. And we've already seen it. Already knew that Luchenko was a workout warrior off the ice, that in the gym, he was going to do the work. So he had a great off season again. No surprise, like he had the off season before. And I heard that from everybody in the OHL. And hey, now it looks like he'll get a look to start the year with Philly, and good for him. I knew Torts would love this kid. It's a Tortorelli type player. Yeah. He 200-foot game, works his ass off, dedicated, good leadership, good character. He's a Torts type player, and it does not surprise me one bit that he sounds like he's going to start the year with Philly.
Yep. And he models his game after Nick Suzuki. So I love that. I love hearing that. And I see it. I see resemblance. I see the same
Similar
type
size.
of work ethic. And I think Philly got a good one here. I know Sammy's happy about that. Big Flyers fan there. So had to give him some love. All right. We'll wrap it up here for the 2024 draft class. No one else really beyond that. Maybe, Consta Helenius was in the mix, but he's going to be in the AHL this year. Maybe next year there's going to be more down the ranks that are going to pop up and maybe make their place earlier than anticipated. But for now, this is what the outlook looks like, right? I think we've painted a pretty good picture. 2024 draft class is living up to the hype so far, I'd say, regardless of injuries, which, like you said, you can't really predict or anticipate that much. So that'll do it for that. But before we get to our prospects of the week, we got 2 this week. We want to give some love, of course, to Insta Customs. Okay, they are Canada's highest rated custom apparel and drinkware print shop, boasting an impressive 4.9 Google star rating. Whether you need printed or embroidered t-shirts, hoodies, crew necks, hats, and more, they've got you covered, okay? They specialize in emergency rush orders to meet your tight deadlines. While the store is conveniently located on Stanley Street, downtown Montreal, right near the Bell Center, all right, you can order online just as easily, okay? So you order today, it's shipped today, and you get it tomorrow, okay? So visit instacustoms.com for all that good stuff. Got our hats made, we got our shirts made, we got our drinkware made, okay? The mugs. Insta Customs is where it's at. Love those guys. And we also love the people over at CheapestTshirts, okay? If you're looking for the cheapest clothing prices, you got to check out CheapestTshirts.ca, okay? They offer the cheapest wholesale prices on 36 top clothing brands and 941 different items. Enjoy their unbeatable cheapest wholesale prices with no minimum order requirements. You order today, you get it tomorrow. Okay, so don't miss out on amazing savings. Shop today at CheapestTshirts.ca. Grant, you mentioned his name earlier in the show, Michael Misa. All right, the exceptional status player in the OHL playing. Let me just backtrack here. Memorial Cup champion, Michael Misa. Okay, I think you need to associate that word with him now. Playing in Saginaw for the Spirit. He is the OHL prospect of the week. Let's have a look at the clips.
Well, it was a no-brainer. But look at this right off, very first shift. I thought, oh, okay. That's not necessarily the player that I saw last year or the year before at the Helenka. I know it really impressed me right off the bat was just his intensity and how hard he battles. He has matured as a player. Obviously, his exceptional status, to start his career. And maybe first couple of years he wasn't had to get a little bigger, but I think he had a solid offseason putting on some weight. You see where he snuck in behind, and he was the guy that tipped it in. But what I liked in these highlights, and I'll show all of his goals, but this is we start off with that was same shift, by the way. He scored 2 goals, came back to center ice, and scored in the span of one shift. He scored 2 goals, so he had 3 goals and an assist in the first period of this game. Started the OHL season, and he starts it off with 5 goals and assist in his first 2 games. Not too shabby, but he's taken another step physically, and you can see it. But what I also like, and you see in these clips, is the defensive part of the game. He sits back for his defenseman. His defensive end of the game is vastly improved. I know at the Hlenka last year, I liked McQueen, Martone, and Spence more because I thought they played more of a two-way game than Misa. But as we saw in this game, his all-around game has really matured, and I think a lot of it had to do with, as you pointed out, going. Look at the shots that he had just on this power play alone. This is without Parekh too. Yeah. So wait till you get Parekh with this group. Luck. Yeah, exactly. But you can see how dangerous he was throughout this one power play. But he's that guy kicked.
Yeah, he kicked him. Jeez.
Yeah, he did. But he's not afraid to go along the boards. He'll take the hit, as you see in a few of these clips, and those 2 in particular, where his the grit part of his game. There's a nice goal, nice one-timer. You'll see it better here, right between the legs. That was his first period. 3 goals and assists. Thank you very much. But the rest of the game, he was solid defensively and kept Sault Ste. Marie from mounting a huge comeback. They almost came back, but it was it wasn't certainly because of him. His defense was solid, but loved the way he circled back there. Very smart. Look at this dish here, smooth, but nice playmaker, good shot. What really stands out with him, he's 6'1", so perfect, prototypical center size, but look at the wheels on him. He's just a great skater, one of the best skaters in this draft class. So when you combine, 6'1", plays with grit now, has good defensive awareness. That speed is like his major asset. He can watch this one. And there's even I thought it was another clip, but we'll get to it in a minute, where you just see the speed is top of the league, top of the OHL, and he's just in his draft year. But I don't, maybe not quite as doesn't quite have the same engine and power as MacKinnon, but there are some similarities there. If I had to make a comp in the NHL, it would be that style of player.
Wow.
Look at this here. He sees the defenseman pinched, right? So he comes back, he takes up, and then he breaks up the play.
There you go.
So I'm really impressed by the strides that he has made away from the puck. I think he's really matured. And I mean, 87 games last year, right? Mm-hmm. Run to the Memorial Cup. He's got Owen Beck to mentor him. And I think it really rubbed off on him, because look at the back check too. Like he has a light bulb has gone off, and he realizes, okay, I have all this talent, but if I don't work hard, I'm not going to be a top 5 pick. Yeah. And it's clicked with him, because I saw an all-around game, and really impressed by him. It's funny, in the summertime I saw Desnoyers wowed me, and I thought, okay, this guy could be a top 3 pick. Mm-hmm. Then I saw, the start of the year, Roger McQueen, 4-goal game, 6'4", all the things he brings. I thought, oh, well, this guy, he can be a top 3 pick. And now I watch this game, and I'm thinking, okay, I want Misa to be in the top 3. So it's going to be one of those. I love it, though.
That's good.
Yeah, and here it is. Look at the speed.
Wow.
Like, that's MacKinnon, like, right there. He can wheel.
Yeah.
This kid, for a 6'1" center with his offensive skill, he can just flat out wheel. So 2 years from now, whew. What I also like is several of his goals so far this year, and he has 7 in 3 games to start the year, are around the net. So he scored them in all different ways. I like that too. Those 2 goals in the 1 shift were right in the crease, right? He scored on a breakaway, scored with a wicked shot. So he can beat you anyway. So, the things that I had concerns about with him before, I don't have, based on that game. And I mean, maybe it was just one, like, we'll keep watching all game. Maybe some old habits will creep back in, but based on looking at that game, light switch went off. He knows, he probably had to get a little bigger, and he obviously did that in the off season, but with his speed and offensive tool set, again, you're going to be looking at him, Spence, McQueen, Desnoyers, Martone. Like, they all have to be in the mix for the top 6 or top 7, along with Schaefer and
Higgins. Yeah.
Like, right, as much as I like Ryabkin and Frondell, the 5 Canadian forwards, man, like, for me, they're locks for the top 10 now. I'd be shocked if somebody, ends up supplanting these guys, and there will always be somebody that comes into the mix, like Laginla did last year and Seneca did. But oh my goodness, I love those 5 Canadian forwards. They all got all around games, and that includes Misa now. I didn't think that going into the year, but that game alone, he checked off all the boxes that you want in a player. So I would have no issue if somebody ranked him top 3 right now in the draft. I wouldn't argue it.
Yeah.
I'd have no issue if somebody ranked McQueen top 3 based on what you see him at their best. And same with Desnoyers. All 3. But right now, Desnoyers hasn't had a great start to the year offensively. and you might have to, I did have him 3 going into the year, but right now McQueen and Misa probably edged ahead of him for now. But hey, a couple of games here and there, it's only a start, and that the list is going to be flip-flopping back and forth. The next time I look at Spence, I'll probably say, oh yeah, because he's the guy I liked the best of all of them last year.
Yeah.
So, again, he and Martone, a lot of people have him the best ranked ahead of all those guys. So there's 5 Canadian forwards that, anybody has them in their top 7. I wouldn't argue with it. I have them all in my top 7 now, and Ryabkin and Frondel are after, and they're really good prospects.
Yeah, that's
and
really
then Hensler. So, I mean, there's 10 guys that I just absolutely love right now that you could all argue could be top 3 in the top 3 mix. So I'm really liking the top of this draft class. There's just so many well-rounded prospects that I really don't see any of them dropping off, because they don't have a lot of red flags, and that usually means that they're going to stay near the top of the draft rankings.
Yeah, it's a good time for NHL teams to suck. We'll just say that. I actually ran into the Misa family. Well, I didn't run into. We crossed paths at the Vegas airport after the draft. Obviously, his brother Luke was drafted by the Calgary Flames.
Yeah.
His teammate Zane Parekh was also drafted by the Calgary Flames. Calgary should not be very good this year. Hey, that would be pretty cool. Michael Misa at Calgary.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll just put that out there. Put that out there. That would be something.
Yeah, I mean, they could use a MacKinnon like
everyone
center.
could.
That wouldn't
everyone
hurt.
Could. Everyone could. Oh, that's great.
Not saying he's the next Nathan MacKinnon, but when I thought of an NHL comp that just that have his speed skill combination, centerman 6'1", it's a short list. Like obviously MacKinnon would be, that's the standard bearer, but that in that mold, which is an exciting prospect. Who knows, 7 goals in 3 games. Like if he ends up with 60, 70 goals, 6'1" center with that speed, he's going to go number 1. So he's in the,
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So he's definitely in the running for the top 3 and for the first overall. So what I've seen so far, you can't discount it. And I mean, hey, he was an exceptional status player, first overall pick in the OHL. So it shouldn't shock anybody that he might go first overall.
Exactly. Now, Michael Misa, OHL prospect of the week, and you speak of first overall picks, the QMJHL, Maddox Dagenet was drafted first overall by the Quebec Ramparts, and he has been ripping it up. We got some footage here, and he is our underage prospect of the week. Let's have a look.
Yeah, well, I was looking at the Q's point standings scoring leaders, and it's like right near the top is I'm checking out the ages of all these guys. 2008, 6 goals. What the heck?
Yeah.
So and then right, that was the guy that went first overall. Okay, that makes sense. But wow, I had a look at this game against Sherbrooke, and I like this chirping on the face off with the guy.
Nice.
Yeah, 16-year-old, 6'3", son of Pierre Dagenet. A lot of Canadians fans, certainly of my generation, would remember Pierre. Luckily for him, he's not Pierre. He's a good skater, a very good skater, actually, for his size. He doesn't have pins for legs there. The old man had pins. His calves were really skinny, but I think he takes out after his mom when it comes to his lower body. But I had a look at him, and much like Misa and a lot of guys I've been looking at this year, he's pretty well rounded. And look at the wheels on him. I like the way he held onto the puck a little extra and then got it over to the winger there. But he really impressed me for a 16-year-old kid. This is one of the, I said the same thing about Denoyer for this draft, but he might be even a step ahead. Like, this could be the best Q prospect to come out in quite a while. I liken him a little bit to Vinny Lecavalier.
Wow.
There are definitely some similarities there. Just the all-round package, 6'3". But I like the way he back-checked. Look at that, eh? Stole the puck back from the guy. This is a 16-year-old, 6'3" center in the queue. I'm blown away. Guy is good. Wow. Like, we've got somebody that's looks like a real contender for first overall next year coming out of the queue. Now, since Pierre-Luc Dubois, there has not been there's been one Quebecer taken in the top 10. Lafreniere. That's it.
That's it.
So in 8 years, we're going to have him in back-to-back years. Like, this guy's a top 10 lock, I'd say. Look at the shot.
Is he a 2026 or 27?
Check out he's eligible next year.
Oh, so he's going to give McKenna a run then.
He is. Oh, are you kidding me? 6'3" center.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. Look at that. So he's got the old man shot. I mean, his old man was a sniper. They're the first father-son combination ever to be drafted first overall in the queue, which is kind of a cool thing. He played in Quinte last year. I don't know. I guess the old man lives in Kingston because he played in Kingston the last few years. But first overall, just like his dad, and he's got the shot just like his dad. Boom. Just powered it right through him. But no, I look at the deflection here. Nice goal. So really impressed by this kid. 6 goals in 5 games as a 16-year-old. I could see him hitting, scoring 40 plus, and it's rare for a 16-year-old to do that in CHL. Lafreniere scored 43. Wouldn't surprise me if this kid scored it, top that. And that's him being a better skater, him being 3 inches taller, him being a center. Wow. That's one of the best, since MacKinnon. He might be the best prospect come out of the queue. I loved Lafreniere too, obviously, but he hasn't quite lived up to the billing at the time. But yeah, this kid has the goods. So very exciting to see that back-to-back years we're going to have really good representation in the queue from Quebecers, some Quebecois. They're finally getting some,
It's been dry.
It was. I mean, we did a podcast that got lost in the nether regions there about that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to show people, but thank you, Sammy and Yellow. Give him a little shout out. No, but and I can hear Yellow right now saying, "Wrap it up, boys."
Yeah.
So I think we'll leave it at that, and you can.
That's a good way to finish. Maddox Dagenet is our underage prospect of the week. Next year you got McKenna, you got Dagenet. The year after that, you got Landon Dupont. We're cooking in Canada, baby. We're cooking in Canada. Sure. You'll love to see it. That's a great show again, Grant. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you all tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave us a comment. Let us know which 2024 prospect has impressed you the most so far. We want to hear your thoughts. We'll be back again later this week for our regular Habs show. We might talk again about Demidov. We'll see. Let us know if you want us to talk about Demidov. We talk about him every week, but there's always something happening with the kid. Poor guy. So that'll do it for us. I'm producer Shane. That's Grant McCagg for Sammy back at Master Control. This has been another edition of the Sick Podcast, Recruits Draftcast. Take care, everyone. Take care.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, Recruits Draftcast on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.